well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The day I passed my gun safety course, I went hunting with my dad. Weekends in the woods with him were the best times I ever had. So when I hear some politician trying to take that freedom away, I stand my ground. I don't back down. I've got a gun that can feed my family. I've got one that protects my home. It's my right by the Constitution to keep and bear the arms I own. I'm a law-abiding, patriotic American to the bone, and I will defend it. The Second Amendment.
Welcome to episode 4 of the Speaking of Guns podcast, where we cover anything and everything related to guns, gear, concealed carry, maybe even a little politics thrown in there from time to time. I'm your host, Tim Shields.
And I'm your other host, Janet Shields.
Oh, well, let's see. What have we done gun-related since the last podcast?
We had an all-ladies class yesterday, and let me tell you, I felt really good about the whole class, the interaction, the engagement of the students. Even on the range, all of the students, well, not all of them, but a good portion of the students were already implementing some of the fundamentals that we learned in class.
Yeah, it was an all-ladies class, too, and it's always rewarding to introduce ladies to firearms in general.
In this class, we only had maybe 2 or 3 who had experience. So the rest of the ladies were all new shooters. So once we got to the range, there was extra instruction and extra one-on-one time with each of the ladies. And what's really, really rewarding is that to have a brand new shooter come in and say, I'm so nervous. And I say, okay, we're just going to take it one step at a time. And we go through the process one step at a time. And then after she shoots and I'm pulling the target in, I turn to her and say, how do you feel? And one lady said, that was exciting. And that's just rewarding for me to see the excitement after they see their target when it's pulled in and they actually have hit the target. And most of them have a really good group.
And when they come out, usually I'm in the lobby when they come out to get their certificate, and I take a look at their target, of course, and they're all, they've had a chance for the enthusiasm to build between coming out of the range and coming out into the lobby where they're going to interact with me, and they're always so happy and their faces lit up. It's very, very rewarding. And
did they have a chance to interact with the other ladies that were in the class?
Oh yeah, they have to go through a gauntlet of some of the other ladies that were in class, and they're saying, how did you do? And they're showing off their targets. So it's always great. They have a bonding experience like, our co-ed classes really don't have.
And a lot of ladies just, it's rewarding to build each other up and just to give each other accolades, and I think that's a good self-esteem builder as well.
That's right. Oh, well, hey, we had a birthday too, so happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday in 1922 on November the 22nd to Eugene Stoner.
Mr. Stoner was an American firearms designer who was most associated with the development of the AR-15.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. This rifle was adopted by the U.S. military as the M16.
Yep, and he died on April the 24th, 1997, and is regarded by some historians as one of the most successful firearm designers of the 20th century. I mean, he's got a lot of competition there, but he definitely made a contribution with the AR-15. It's the most popular sporting rifle in the United States today. And thank you, Mr. Stoner, for that contribution. We certainly appreciate it.
Do we have something else coming up this week?
Yes, we do have something coming up this week. Thanksgiving!
Yay!
Thanksgiving's right around the corner, and we have some special plans for Thanksgiving, don't we?
We do. Well, Thanksgiving Day we'll spend with family.
Of course.
And eat probably just a little bit too much. which is always the case.
That's what you're supposed to do on Thanksgiving, though, right?
Well, somebody told me it's a holiday, not a holiday season, so on the holiday, you can eat anything you want.
Yeah, but unfortunately, pumpkin pie lasts longer than just one day.
Well, that's true.
You gotta make
Except
it
I don't
spread.
eat pumpkin pie.
Oh,
so.
I do.
But we are planning a trip to North Carolina to the mountains, and we plan on doing some shooting in the mountains.
Oh yeah, we're taking those AR-15s that Mr. Stoner invented, and we're going to put them through their paces up there if it's not too freezy cold.
Oh, we're going to do it even if it's freezy cold.
And that'll be fun. It's always fun to shoot out when the weather's nice and crisp. It's a special time. I've done it before, when I was growing up, and so it should bring back some really pleasant memories for me, shooting out in the cold.
Yeah, we don't get a whole lot of chances to make it up north to shoot. So this is something especially we're both looking forward to.
And of course here in Central Florida, we don't have but maybe two cold days a year to shoot
when we
in.
actually get to wear a jacket or a sweater.
Exactly. So, hey, let's move on to our firearms in the news.
It's time for Firearms in the News.
Okay, my first story for Firearms in the News. The headline reads, Clobbered by gun owners on Election Day, Senate Democrats promote anti-gun Chuck Schumer to lead them. And this story comes to us from America's First Freedom and the NRA. It says that mainstream media isn't the only institution in denial over the results of Trump's election last week. On Wednesday, Senate Democrats promoted one of their most committed anti-gun advocates to be the minority leader, Senator Charles Schumer, Democrat of New York. He has been one of the most outspoken promoters of gun control for decades, stretching back to his tenure in the House. He led the fight to pass Bill Clinton's assault weapon ban, as well as the failed struggle to reauthorize it. He led the fight to pass Bill Clinton's assault weapon ban, and as well the failed struggle to reauthorize it. He also led fights to expand record keeping of gun owners, to ban magazines containing more than 10 rounds, to expand background checks, and to allow, governments and crime victims to sue gun manufacturers into bankruptcy. Coming the day after Pew Research announced that an overwhelming 69% of Trump supporters also described themselves as NRA supporters versus 8% of Clinton supporters. Schumer's promotion signals the intention of Democrats to double down on their disastrous election bet against firearm freedoms, placing them on a collision course, of course, with President-elect Donald Trump and pro-gun majorities in both houses. So that's interesting that they put old Chucky Schumer in charge, huh?
That was a strategic movement.
I think so. But, with Republicans holding the presidency in both House and Senate, I really don't think much of, gun control is going to amount to much, even no matter how much they try.
Let's just hope that the Democrats do not get their way with gun control. My firearms in the news. It comes to us from St. Louis. It was reported on station KTVI, and it says women are propelling gun sales to all-time highs. FBI figures show the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, which is the NICS that everyone talks about, is running more checks than ever before. Nearly 25 million background checks will have been completed by year's end. By proxy, that means more guns are being sold than ever before, and local shops say their sales are getting better every year. A key group that's driving these sales are women. Women are helping to propel the firearm background checks and gun sales to an all-time high. And they interviewed Steve King, who's the owner of Metro Shooting Supply in St. Louis, and he says it's astonishing how fast women are getting locked and loaded. And he goes on to say if he could open a new store, he would cater it to women in self-defense, and it has been growing in this direction in the past 5 years. He goes on to say that they in their store have been having shooting lessons every day, and not only are the classes full, but women make up 80% of the class. Anita Farmer, a resident of Redbud, Illinois, I guess that's really close by, recently armed herself and recommends other women to do so as well. She says it's relaxing, believe it or not. Firing off a few rounds really does calm you when you have had stress. Coming to the range can help. And to go back to their interview with Mr. King, he doesn't recommend every woman to buy a gun. He says a woman has to be comfortable with the prospect of having to use a gun. He also says they must put safety first. And he acknowledges the more single household families where women are ahead of the household. You have to have them realizing that not only are they the provider financially and emotionally for their children, but they are also the physical provider as well. And gun advocates point to police stats showing 200,000 women annually use a gun to defend themselves from a sexual attack. And Mr. King says defending your home and family has become a priority over the past 8 years or so. And I can definitely agree with that story. And back when we first started teaching, we really did not have a need at first for an all-ladies class. But once we had that first all-ladies class, it just took off so well that now we're having one ladies class a month and one co-ed class a month. So I believe this story when they talk about the ladies are propelling the gun sales.
Well, when we first started teaching, just like any business, it takes a while to get established and to get going, and in our case, to get students in the door. And we were a little nervous about promoting an all-ladies class because sometimes our co-ed classes weren't really filling up. But we had a student named Britta, and she asked us to have an all-ladies class. She had a bunch of friends that wanted to take it, so we kind of took the plunge and we did it. And next thing you know, the class filled up. We were having to turn people away, and now we have about one ladies class a month now, and definitely we've seen a big increase with women getting guns to protect themselves and realizing the fact that, a gun is the ultimate equalizer.
Well, even in our co-ed classes, ladies are half the class.
Usually, yeah, that is the case.
We are seeing a demographic for our students are mainly ladies.
Yeah, that's definitely the case.
So that is really exciting to us to see.
And good for them. Good for them for recognizing that they need something like a gun to equalize them because, typically men are larger and more prone to violence and that sort of thing. So they have to have some way of equalizing that all out.
Exactly.
Well, my next story for Firearms in the News also comes to us from America's First Freedom, the NRA publication. And it's all about California Proposition number 63. Some of you may have heard about this in the news, but it was referred to Gunmageddon, I think they called it. It had a lot of anti-gun laws attached to it. The article says that California Proposition 63, the background check for ammunition purchases and what they call large capacity ammunition magazine ban initiative is basically what 63 was all about, and says that California voters' passage of the anti-gun Proposition 63 has had exactly the expected response, a run on ammunition in the state of California. It says the new law will severely restrict ammo purchases by law-abiding gun owners in the state while having absolutely no effect on criminals who could care less about any kind of background check. Reports out of Sacramento indicate that people waited in line for an hour just to get into Crossroads of the West gun show at the Cal Expo to buy ammunition. I guess that's a large expo center out there. It says, I don't know that it's going to make any difference in terms of criminals having access to ammunition and firearms. They have their regular sources. Bob Templeton, the owner of the Crossroads of the West gun shows, told Fox 40, it seems to be an attempt to make it more difficult for law-abiding citizens to exercise their right to own and use firearms lawfully. Proposition 63 also bans ownership of ammunition magazines holding more than 10 rounds. Another law that will certainly be ignored by the criminals. As I understand it, the magazine ban goes into effect on July 1st of 2017, and the ammo background checks go into effect